was the founder of the Caribbean Students Association, but he did not attend Howard University. I've heard people telling me that he came out of Howard. Dr. Eric Williams was an island scholar from Trinidad and Tobago who attended Oxford University, but with the assistance of Dr. Ralph Bunch, then chairman of the Department of Political Science. Eric Williams was recruited upon his graduation from Oxford to join the faculty at Howard in the Department of Political Science. And when Dr. Ralph Bunch went on to the UN and became the first black to win a Nobel Prize for Peace, Eric Williams took over as chairman of the Department of Political Science and founded the Caribbean Students Association in 1944. But Dr. Eric Williams had very strong views about a number of things. And one of the things that he had strong views about that has come to pass is that there was going to be within the Caribbean, particularly in Trinidad and Guyana, conflicts between blacks and Indians. And he thought that the board of directors of the Caribbean Students Association should have a certain percentage of Indians and a certain percentage of blacks. And students said, no, in the Caribbean we don't operate like that. If you're a Trini, you're a Trini, right? And that's tell you. And if you're a Trini, you're a what? Trini to the bone. Right? So we said we were not going to elect people on the basis of their racial background. Now, he did not like that. And so, from 1945, 46, the organization did not function effectively. And as you know, Eric Williams was appointed to the Caribbean Commission, took leave from Howard, and did that job, and ultimately resigned in 47 from Howard and became full-time with the Caribbean Commission, later became Prime Minister of Trinidad. Now, so that's historical. You need to know that. He was not the president of the Caribbean Students Association. He was the founder of the Caribbean. President of the Caribbean Students Association, first one was Richard Hill of Jamaica, who went on to do medicine. I arrived at Howard in 1948, way back when there was no moon. The moon was dark. In 1948. And we had developed in the Caribbean a constitution for Caribbean Federation. We had received it in Jamaica, and as a head of a student group in Jamaica, I had reviewed it. So when I came on campus, I had already done that. And my first meeting right in that building, Richard asked, is there anybody, because they had just received it when I arrived, is there anybody in the audience who would like to do a review of the Federation Constitution? And nobody lifted up their hands. So I said, I will. No, I've just arrived. I haven't attended my first class yet. And they said, well, who is this fresh fellow just coming in and have the nerve to believe that he can do this? And I said, the answer is very simple. I have read it and you have not. And so I was appointed chairman of the committee in 48, in September 48. And in September 49, I was appointed, elected president of the Caribbean Students Association, and held that post from then until 1954. And remained an advisor to this student body up until a few years ago. Now, I want to for historical purposes, I also want to tell you that the tree has shrunk. Because the tree under which we used to gather was twice this size and was over there. See where that thing is now? The tree was over there. And that tree was larger than this tree and this tree. But nonetheless, it is good to have a tree. And since we are from the Caribbean and we are very optimistic, we know that this thing, small as it is, will not die. Those Caribbean people do not die, they just pass on and come back.
Yes.
And so we know this tree will grow into great heights and width and depth. And we thank you, the present students, for having thought it worthwhile to put your mark on Howard University by having your own tree. We are here, all of us. Margaret Ford is a graduate of Howard University. She's the immediate past president of CAIO, and as you know, chairman of the commission. Dr. Trout, you may not, the reason why I need to introduce him again, because he doesn't like to tell people this, but some of the most outstanding, world-renowned research on the human brain. And if you ever get to medical school and have to study the human brain, you cannot study the human brain without knowing the fundamental and basic research that has been done by none other than Dr. Ovid Trout of Jamaica. One of the most brilliant persons you can meet, except that he didn't have the good sense to attend Howard University. But all is not lost, because his older brother did attend Howard University. So a Trout belongs here. So you are here representing your brother and yourself. Thank you.